Well, there's no doubt about that. This is going to mean that the competition is next level. Some of the biggest names in IndyCar have finally joined us tonight on the Monday Night broadcast. We're talking about guys like Adam Blocker, Robert Malechka III, Alex Van de Sande. Of course, we've seen him a few times, alongside the more regular faces we've seen. Mark Murphy, defending series champion twice over, and Chris Wilhite and Adriano Fraporti and everyone else. These guys are going to be going up against more talent out there than we've seen in a while. The average I rating in this split, 4,500 SOF. This is going to be one of the most competitive races I think I've seen in a while. There's going to be a lot of fast talent out there, and I think this season is going to be one of the most exciting we've seen in a long time.
Well, you picked a good time to join us, Biggs. What are you thinking tonight?
IndyCar Oval racing at its finest. You mentioned that. These are top dogs. 50K, 6,000K. Some of the best drivers you're going to find anywhere on the planet here for the 4D Racing Monday Night Fixed Series. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much for inviting me.
No problem. Good to have you. Well, you know, just as long as Justin's out watching the Christmas lights at Las Vegas Motorsports, he's kind of doing some racing stuff. But returning to support us once again as a seasons-long partner of the Monday Night Indy Fixed Top Split is Jim Herrick and the guys at 4D RACEWEAR. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel during their holiday sale going on now through December 31st. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on their link in today's description. And I have a pair of their shoes. And they are pretty good shoes. When you definitely are foot to the floor and you're mashing it, you like that extra protection on the feet. I know a lot of people that like to race barefoot. I'm not quite sure how they do that, but check out 4D RACEWEAR and their line of gloves and shoes. Here's all IndyCar track records you need to know at Kansas in the real world. Qualifying track records held by Thomas Scheckter. There's a speed of 218.547 miles per hour. The IndyCar career wins leader here at Kansas, to no one's surprise, Scott Dixon has 2. And Dan Weldon, Lionheart himself here, has also 2 wins here at Kansas. Now, we've been here a couple times in the past. One of the new segments I want to put on in the pre-race show here is how the races have been in the past that we covered it here on Race First when we've been to Kansas. So we've actually, the Indy Fixed Series has visited Kansas twice in the last year, once for round 10 of season 1 and again for the 12th and final round of season 3. Season 1, Franzoni won the pole with a speed of 220.451, and he won the race, beating out his teammate Adriano Pinero and team race first driver, old Tommy G, Thomas Geisler. That was the season 1 of that particular season. And then again, we revisited season 3. Franzoni repeated. He won the pole again with a speed of 220.259. But you might remember this one. This is when Nicky Racing's driver, Pablo Diaz-Francis, got into Franzoni in turn 3 of lap 1, collecting Pinero and killing any championship hopes he had and crowning Mark Murphy as a champion of that season. This race also ended with a bit of controversy. With 2 laps to go, Justin Miller cleared the leaders to take the lead, but left a little room on the bottom where Alexander Ragon thought he could slide his car in, wrecking himself and the leader, allowing PDF to survive and win the race, with newcomer Elliott Huffman, who we have not seen since, finishing second, and Murphy taking the championship by finishing third. As a reminder, you can go back and relive these 2 races and nearly 300 others on demand by just going to our playlist section of our channel. Pick a season, pick a race, and enjoy. Race First has you covered 24/7. And with that said, it's time to go racing, and now let's take a look at today's starting lineup from Kansas.
And on the pole, once again, a regular face we've actually seen before, Rodrigo Franzoni, once again lightning fast in qualifying. He will be starting alongside another oval ace, Jason Brophy, in the number 6 machine. Brophy very fast in the Lionheart IndyCar Series and elsewhere for private label Team Hype. Row number 2, Mark Murphy, the defending double series champion. He will start 3rd. Alongside him, the multi-time Lionheart IndyCar Series champion, Adam Blocker, in the number 3. Chris Wilhite in the number 2. He will start in 5th place, another championship contender last season. Alongside him will be Trey Shadid, our old friend and teammate of Mark Murphy, in the number 5 machine. He'll start 6th. The number 1, this time it's Robert Malechka III. He will start 7th. Alongside him is the 8 of Alex Van de Sande, another regular that we've seen in the Lionheart Series and occasionally here as well. Good to see him back. Row 5, Hamilton Akabuze in the number 7. He will be starting 9th, and alongside him, rounding out your top 10, Rafael Eckert in the 17. Not a rather unusual position for Eckert. He's usually rather fast in qualifying. We'll see if he can make up for it. Alan Morea will start 11th in the number 16. He'll be alongside the 9 of Sean Dunham. Brendan Lichtenberg in the number 10, Mr. Arca Break Weekly, will start 13th. He'll be alongside the 18 of Christopher Strickland. Stephen Lee in the 15 starts 15th. Some work for him to do as well, usually very fast in race trim. He'll be alongside the 13 of William K. Price. Row number 9, Zach Spreitzer in the number 14. He'll be alongside the 19 of Evan Adams. And the final row of the grid, Adriano Fraporti just missed out on being able to complete his second lap there, so he's got a lot of work to do, coming from 19th. And alongside him, the only driver to not post a qualifying time, Zachary Hubler in the number 20.
Team Distinct showing up. And we're getting ready to get underway here on our formation lap.
Franzoni and Murphy sticking down on the apron right now. I guess trying to save fuel. Meanwhile, Brophy going way up high. But we're getting ready for 75 laps here tonight at Kansas Speedway. And fuel mileage, very typical of a 1.5 mile oval. We're expecting about 50 laps in the tank in full race trim.
Yep.
So these guys, of course, one stop is going to be needed. Pit window will open around lap 20 to 25, thereabouts.
We did watch. I did catch the first race, the 7:15, the race that we normally would cover here, and Pinero won that. Mark Murphy finished second, and then we had Gil Ribeiro, who we have not talked about a lot on the broadcast, but he's been in that top split race a number of times, at least the leadoff race. He finishes third. Pace car abruptly off the banking. We're getting ready to go racing.
New season, new year. Green flag flies, and we're underway for a new year. Franzoni jumps out to a lead, but look at Mark Murphy on the low side of Jason Brophy. Great launch there from the 4, and Adam Blocker looking to go with them as they head through 1 and 2. Will Height now looking to the inside of Brophy. Brophy losing a lot of momentum up on that high line there as Trey Shadid moves to the inside. Brophy left with no one to work with right now as we're starting to get settled into 3 and 4. But look at this battle on for the lead. Murphy around the outside of Rodrigo Franzoni. Coming to the line this time, it's going to be Murphy leading that first lap. And look at Blocker on the high side, going 3 wide in the 1 and 2.
They are wasting no time going 3 wide in the 1. Spotter, you're in the middle.
Not at all. And look at the run that Murphy's getting here. He's actually going to clear Franzoni by a hair's breadth. Franzoni had to back out of it, but Mark Murphy moves to the lead and Blocker to second. Oh, look at that battle here. Brophy well down to the inside of Will Height. Will Height lost a ton of momentum, but Murphy down on the apron, trying to work that high line. It seems like it's the preferred one right now. It's Brophy trying to make that high side work.
Yeah, watching Brophy right there.
Meanwhile, for the lead, Blocker and Murphy through 3 and 4. Can Blocker get the run he needs? Not quite at the moment there, but he's still hanging around on the rear quarter panel of that number 4 machine. Cannot slouch when Adam Blocker is the guy behind you. He's probably the last guy you want to see in your rearview mirror.
Yeah.
He will he'll try and find any which way he can as he works up on that high side, going into 3.
There's a reason why I call him in the Dark Knight. I mean, it's not because his car looks like the Batmobile. Is that when he looms over you, he looms pretty large. And there we go, lap 4 in the books. Murphy, Blocker, Franzoni, Brophy, and Chris Wilhite very quietly in a P5 position, watching this action right in front of him. Let's take a look here on the onboard of Chris Wilhite as this action in front of him. Where do you go? Where do you stay safe?
Yeah, that's going to be the big question, as not only Blocker is harrying the back of Mark Murphy, but I'm looking at Brophy just clearing the highs around the high side of Rodrigo Franzoni. He's going to be a factor once again here. Had lost some momentum earlier, has not shaken him, and I never expected it to for a second. Brophy is one of those masters of oval racing. He can make a lot happen.
Brophy had a rough time last night at the Lionheart finale at Fontana. A couple trips through that infield grass, probably a couple trips more than he really wanted. He was up there with the leaders all day. And
it happened right in front of me, too.
Yeah, it was happening right in front of you as well, yeah. You had a great race, man. Tell us about your race.
Well, I'd say it went pretty good. My qualifying wasn't all that good. Started down in 17th, but just picked them off one at a time and running in the top 10 for most of the day. Sadly, the main thing for me was that I botched my final pit stop. I overshot my box a little bit, lost momentum with the draft, and finished 14th on the day. But overall, I'd say pretty solid run all around, and my teammate Andrew Marquez got himself into P8 coming to the checkered flag here, and he secured a top 10 in the championship in his rookie year. So, Andrew, if you're watching this, bud, I still got to hand it to you, man. You did fantastic. You've been a great teammate this year. Is look at Brophy with a monster run. Not quite enough, though. He lost a ton of momentum in the process there, and Frenzoni looking to the high side. Meanwhile, for the lead,
Murphy just comes right down on Blocker. Blocker had to take a little bit of a checkup there.
Getting chippy already is Blocker. You don't give him an inch, because if you do, he will take it. Blocker now looking to the high side into turn number 3. We're only working lap number 9, folks, so it may not be the wisest thing to be going for it, but at the same time, you want track position, baby.
And coming into the picture, RM3, who won last night's race at Fontana, the 500-miler. He is now into the picture, up to P5. We saw him get the pass on the high side over Wilhite when we were on Wilhite's in-car there.
Yeah, still holding on to that high line there as Hamilton Akabuze looking to follow Wilhite through. He's still sticking to that high side there. But Robert Malechka, you got to keep an eye on him. That 7th position in qualifying is not really indicative of what he can do. I can definitely see Malechka fighting for it at the end of this race. He is certainly a beast, especially on the ovals.
Not at all. And yeah, Malechka was just kind of in the mid-pack for a lot of the race, just kind of hanging out last night. And then at the end, here he comes. And all of a sudden he wins. And 500-milers kind of at Fontana and Michigan are kind of his forte. And he made it look pretty easy last night.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about that.
Even though it was like 6 1,000ths of a second that he won over, but he still made it look pretty easy the way that he drove from the front, from the back to the front.
Oh, yeah, Malechka is definitely one of the guys that can do that, and that's what I'm saying this season right now. If this is any indication of what we're going to be getting in these, we call them super splits here, in the Indy Fixed Series, the U.S. Open C Series. I need to actually look at the name of it again.
Here's your alphabet soup.
It really is, and to their credit, I do like that they are trying to make things more organized in the open wheel department. Because if I'm being honest, open wheel racing and iRacing has been a bit of a mess. It's been a bit of a hodgepodge of different series, not really getting their identity as open wheelers. This makes it a lot easier. It makes it that little bit more approachable for drivers to get involved in it and say, hey, this is open wheel racing and this is what we're getting. Look at this 3-wide action for the lead.
3 wide into 3. Dean, what are you thinking about all this?
It's absolutely exciting. At the moment, it's going to be a 4-way battle. Check out the car in the background, of course. That's Jason, and that's Rodrigo. They started on pole position, 3 positions gained. The 11 car hanging on the back there and seeing what's going to go on here. Lap 15 off 75. This is good motor racing. Welcome along Monday night.
Definitely a good one to start with, eh?
And the window is to get to the finish already is rapidly approaching. We're probably within about 10 laps for the latest. 5 laps for the earliest before cars want to think about stopping down, topping off their tanks, and trying to get to the finish. But if we're going to go green the whole way, we got to get closer to that 25 number rather than that 20 number.
I would definitely say so. And one factor here that I would think is, do you want to come in earlier or later? The main thing for me would be, if you're going to get held up by everybody fighting each other, you may want to come in and get some clean air laps and not have to worry about the aero push, because that seems like a big factor right now. And another one, it seems, is just simple tire degradation. I'm seeing Mark Murphy pushing Blocker that little bit higher up the track, that maybe that he's fighting a bit of tire wear a little bit, that he's not holding the IRL line, as we call it, like the old Indy Racing League series used to do, around here no less, of holding that bottom line for dear life. That may not be what you want to do with the tire deg here. I would have to ask the guys on the podium to be absolutely certain, but Mark Murphy kind of pushing him up a little bit. That may be a bit of gamesmanship, a bit of tire wear, as well as Blocker still having a hard time trying to get by him starting lap 19.
Hey, according to YouTube Analytics, 37% of you are still not subscribers. Oh, that was so close.
That was netcode. It looked like Blocker got squeamish there. The netcode almost killed him, but recovers brilliantly. Oh, the silent killer almost claimed another victim. That's one thing we've still got to keep in mind here. It may not look like you touched, but iRacing says you touched and you feel it.
That is predictive software for collisions right there. That's what netcode really is. And that got really close. Typically, you don't see that with two American drivers. Typically, you see that with an American and a foreign driver because of the ping rates. But in this case, you see it with the two American. And it's really a problem at the IndyCar level just because how fast these cars are. So once again, YouTube Analytics said 37% of you are not subscribers. If you're not subscriber of the channel right now, let's change that. We have reached our goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers, but we cannot rest there. Help us keep this positive momentum. If you enjoy race versus coverage of the Monday Night Indy Fixed Stop Split and Jason Brophy trying to run Mark Murphy off the road, please do us a solid and make sure you support us by subscribing. While you're at it, don't forget to smash the like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future race versus iRacing broadcast. My gosh, Brophy just said, okay, I'm going to full send it. And here comes
Blocker got the inside.
Yep, Blocker got the line to the bottom. He could not.
Murphy could not hold the bottom. The Blocker moves to the race lead. Now they're starting to trip.
Murphy in the wall.
Hard down onto the grass. Can he save it? And he's going to go to the pit lane. That's going to be a penalty regardless for Mark Murphy. But night seems to be over contention-wise for the defending double champion Mark Murphy. Unbelievable.
No caution.
No caution.
Yet.
Caution now. Caution is out now. I'm trying to see if that is indeed for Murphy. That may well be.
Murphy. He cannot keep the car straight for some reason, and
as everybody's scrambling to get around him there.
Yeah, guys, he almost hit the pace car as it was coming out at the moment, as he's trying to get the cool down temperature in a very heated cockpit of this IndyCar driver. Mark Murphy, not the happiest camper at the moment here in Texas, but Kansas, my apologies. Kansas. But yeah, he's going to go all the way back around to the pit lane. And yes, well, it's early days still.
Well, that's going to be a trip to the pits to get some work done, and we are right at the period of the window. Everyone's going to stop here for tires and full fuel to get to the finish. It is no longer a question of fuel mileage at this point. It is all about racing it out.
Busy down pit road right now, my friend. This is where all the action is. If you've got your trackside tickets, here it is. In and out as quickly as possible. I'll give those times at the moment. I got my stopwatch, but I had to get 20 stopwatches out right now because they're all coming in.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of data for you to process, that's for sure. Blocker coming down towards his box. Brophy, a couple of stalls ahead of him there. The pole sitter, Franzoni in as well.
Nick would say out there in the chat, this is pod racing. I'm not quite sure it's pod racing, Nick, but I'll tell you what, it's about racing the way out of the boot, out of the box. 8 and change is the times, and Stephen Lee looks like he's the one that has taken the quickest time of all, gaining 14 positions. Is that man even boxed yet?
No, I don't think he stopped. I think he stayed out. I think he stayed out. I show him on 0 time on pit road. So Stephen Lee is going to throw the dice here with some really worn tires, and he's going to have a mean set of drivers behind him with all freshies on. And well, he's coming down off the banking. He might just be wanting to get that lap led and hit pit road here again.
Well, the funny thing about Lee was that he actually did come down on the pit road, but he just drove straight through. He may have been unable to pick out his stall.
Yeah, that is a problem sometimes. And Lee,
two guys back in pit road right now.
And Lee just stopped short of getting on the pit road. He brings his car to a complete stop.
Not sure what's happening to the 15 machine right now. Stephen Lee now gets himself going. May have been a technical problem he was having. Adjust
the old VR headset, chase off the cat, whatever.
Yeah.
We've actually seen drivers.
We've actually your wheel.
Calibrate it. We've actually seen people do this and run to the restroom and come back before.
I've seen that several times. Yes, and I remember talking with Alex Van de Sande after the Lionheart season finale yesterday. There was one hairy moment that I think either he had or someone else had where his VR headset froze in the middle of the corner at 220 miles an hour. That is always a scary moment and almost caused a wreck.
We've got a lot of people in chat. Rashad Craig, good to see you there, buddy. We got Nick Sudik, who joins me on the Saturday broadcast every now and then. How you doing? Virtual Racing Network in there. I worked with those guys. Who is Blocker? You know who Blocker is. If you don't know who Adam Blocker is, you haven't been in the IndyCar community long enough. He is the Dark Knight of IndyCar racing, folks.
He is vengeance. He is the knight. He is Blocker.
Does he come from Toowoomba, Australia, and win the IndyCar Championship? Or is he, it's not Adam Blocker. Where's Adam Blocker from? United States of America?
Yeah, he is. He is a from the United States. I'm not sure exactly what club he's in.
He's in the Carolina Club.
Carolina Club, okay.
Michigan, but he studied at Clemson, and so he's lived in South Carolina for a long time.
Ah, Tiger. All right.
Yep, and now he works with Juncos Racing, in fact, in the IndyCar Series, working with Chevrolet with their engine program.
Yeah, so he is one of the tinkerers.
Yeah, he is.
One of the interesting things down here in the pit road that I've noticed from him is that he positions his car right in the center of the track there, so it makes it very difficult. You got to go the inside or the outside around where he's parking that car, and that's the reason why you have a 6.2 K iRacing next to your name. Smart driving, you have to say, and the man's leading this race with three positions gained for the number 3 car.
There's no doubt about that.
He is the reigning and defending Indy Open Series champion. Was the reigning and defending Lionheart Series championship as of last night. That goes to Philip Kraus. But Adam still had a good showing of the Lionheart Series, getting ready to bring the field down to green. Bringing him down really slow is Adam Blocker on the gas. Brophy right with him. And Brophy's not letting him go at all. There's a big gap, about already a 2/10 back to Franzoni.
Malechka all over the gearbox of him, but I'm keeping an eye on Jason Brophy. He's going to be getting the run down the back straightaway, looking into 3. Not much Blocker can do in this instance here. He just needs to pick a lane, and Brophy goes right by him. Here comes Franzoni coming right up onto the gearbox of the number 3.
That is faith in your fellow driver right now, not to end up in your rear attenuator.
Absolutely not. Of course, Blocker, Brophy, Malechka, they've raced each other numerous times. Oh, Franzoni contact there. Malechka checks up. Malechka followed the apron.
Malechka, that's a pretty good contact.
That was a good hit, though.
He looks
loose. You are
loose.
right.
He looks loose. He might have some damage. Going to try to stick it out, but that has dropped him back to now 13th, 14th in the order.
Oh, that was brutal for Robert Malechka. That's a lot of spots lost. And now Malechka's going to have to do it all over again here as Brophy once again looking to the low side into 3 and 4. These two swapping the lead back and forth. But I'm looking at Rodrigo Franzoni as well. Look at him way up on the high line there. Came dangerously close to that wall compared to a lot of other guys. But now I'm also looking right behind him. Look who's moved up to P4. Rafael Eckert, and he's in a battle with Alex Van de Sant.
Alex Van de Sant going to the high line. Alex likes to live up there on the Larson line.
Yeah. And you can definitely make that work here at Kansas.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The high line with this kind of dual banking system that Kansas Speedway has, that high line is a lot more viable than it is at a lot of other mile-and-a-half tracks. As Brophy once again reclaims the lead from Blocker, and once again Blocker looking to the low side there. They seem to be swapping this with pretty smooth regularity right now.
And another shout out to another driver. We got Sean Dunham up 5 spots. We got Brendan Lichtenberg up 5 spots. Evan Adams, the community representative there for the IndyCar Fixed Series, he is up 8 spots in P10 there for the All-American iRacers.
I'm also going to point out there, Malechka, he fell back to 13th, already back up to 9th place. Robert Malechka on the move, but Evan Adams, a very good start. Same with Dunham and Lichtenberg. Oh, there's a record. Oh, Franzoni! Franzoni's around and he collects Chris Wilhite as well.
Oh.
And it looks to me, that was a self-spin by Rodrigo Franzoni. Just loses it on entry into turn 3, and unfortunately, Wilhite is just an innocent victim.
We'll actually go back in time here and check that out.
Yeah,
it was a
correct.
self-spin.
It also collects Chris as well, the number 2 car, an innocent victim on that one. You were right. Absolutely. Sharp eyes from you there, down there, Stephen.
And actually looking further back on it, there was actually contact between Brophy and Franzoni coming off of turn number 2.
So there it is. So it actually starts back in turn 2.
Oh,
Franzoni just comes down on him, on Brophy. Brophy rejoins, and then the back end just comes around. Brophy, I'm sure, is sharing a little bit of a laugh at that point. And then Wilhite, poor Wilhite. Let's take a look from his point of view. He really just kind of picked the wrong line. There was no place for him to go, especially where he was set up behind Eckert. Let's take a look here on the roll bar, and you'll see exactly what happened.
I was looking at the onboard with Franzoni a bit earlier, and there could be an argument that he was in full control and he came down on Brophy to try and block him there.
It did look like an aggressive move coming down on him. I will say that.
Somebody needs a kiss from Nicole Kidman if you're going to go back to the NASCAR movie in the 80s. But yeah, somewhere along the line, there's Hospital Bill. And he's
at least we're not talking about Driven. Okay.
Yeah.
God.
Like someone told them you can drive through it.
You got to pick a left or a right at that point, aren't you? At the high speeds, and unfortunately that is the case. But to tell you what, Mr. Adam is still going to be leading this race. 3 positions gained. Look out for the Brazilian duo. It looks like Rafael had his teammate there, but then it all went pole-shaped on that incident. And they're in the pit lane right now, too. Mr. Allen and Rodrigo for the Brazilian squad there. Didn't quite perform in the World Cup. They said they can perform their way around Kansas.
Shots fired.
Hey, to be honest, neither did Team USA to a lot of people's expectations.
No one really cares. No one really cares in the U.S. No one really does.
And if I'm being honest, they were going up against the Netherlands. They were favorites anyway.
If you're just joining us, this is Race First coverage of the 4D RACEWEAR Monday Night Indy Fixed Stop Split coming to you from Kansas Speedway. We completed 36 of 75 laps, right at the halfway point. If you're enjoying Race First coverage of tonight's race and like to monetarily support our commentary team, make sure you donate via our GoFundMe link in the description so you don't lose track of any of the action. You can donate right now and still listen to our call of the race. All you have to do is right click on the link in the description or put our GoFundMe page in another tab and make your donation. When you're done submitting your donation, close the tab and you'll be right back with us. It's just that easy. Thank you very much. We realize times and money are tight. It's the holidays. We dig that. We know that. We understand that. You know, my daughter wants a pony too. So, but if you could give, a cost of a burger or whatever, that'll be great. That'll be helpful to us and the program. Tonight's racing coverage has been brought to you by 4D RACEWEAR. Check out their lineup of made-for sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel during their holiday sale going on right now through December 31st. Visit them at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in today's stream description.
And it's better get that than get your eyes shot out by your Red Ryder BB gun.
I want one of those too.
And Stephen, I was going to say the only reason why Gary wants a pony because he doesn't want to give his daughter a brand new IndyCar. Of course, because she has a license. Donations coming out thick and fast out there.
Yeah,
Thank
Virtual Racing Network,
Hey.
tenor. Thank you very much. Super chat.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, our friends.
That's a couple of bucks towards a pony, my friend. There you go. Good job.
Yeah.
It's all to the broadcasting network here at Raceverse. Adam's leading this one from Jason and Alex Vander. No, actually, I think Alex Vander.
Van de Sant. Alex
name, doesn't it?
Alex Van de Sant. Yeah, but we call him VDS for short. They're Alex VDS.
Yeah, okay.
If you go look on his on top of his arrow screen there, it has his Twitter handle, and it's Alex VDS.
But he's not Dutch, right? But he's gained 5 positions. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, he is a fellow Hoosier like me, but he is down in Atlanta for his job and career down there. But he is he's a graduate of Purdue University and a fellow Hoosier along with me. But Adam Blocker, Jason Brophy, Alex Van de Sant, Raphael Eckert, Sean Dunham, your top 5 coming to green for lap 38 of 75 here for tonight's Super Split Monday night.
Once again, Blocker with the controlled restart there, picks his moment there, but Brophy stays with him once more. Now Alex Van de Sande moves up to P3. Eckert in fourth. Eckert trying to work that high line there, staying out of the draft in the middle of the corner of Van de Sande. And Brophy once again now begins the back and forth once more. Brophy down to the low side in turn 3, taking over the race lead for now. Van de Sande now gets himself on the gearbox of Adam Blocker. Blocker once again looking to the low side here. Van de Sande tried to go high there, but so did Brophy. Throws a bit of dirty air in his face as Blocker runs high off of turn 2. Brophy back down low. This back and forth. These guys working well with each other for the time being. And coming to the start of lap number 40. So these guys thinking it'd be best to just work together at the moment. Pull away from VDS, Eckert, and Dunham behind. And then just fight out for the win when they've got that gap towards the end of the race.
You know, Sean Dunham, let's talk about him. He's up to P5, and he has very quietly worked his way up there. He's worked his way around. Actually, now he's up to 4th around Eckert there, but very quietly has drove himself a very stellar race.
Very good start for Sean Dunham there as Eckert facing a lot of arrow push there on the low side from Van de Sande in front of him, but Dunham working very well at the moment. Both him and Van de Sande running that high line right now. And Dunham now closing up on the gearbox of Van de Sande right now. He seems to be finding his groove right now. Getting himself up to that third and closing up on 3rd place at the moment.
Yeah, you're right, Stephen, because he's not only the closing up, he got the fastest lap there, and he's got one of the fastest speeds and the fastest race car at the moment. But sitting at P4, getting that slipstream is all you need. Plenty of laps to go. 34 and 42 of 75.
Yeah, we're getting into the second half of this race right here, and right now Brophy is the bit of a meat and a team power slide sandwich at the moment, as he is being blanketed by Blocker and Van de Sande. And here goes Brophy into 3 down low. Blocker lets him on by, tucks in back behind him, coming off of 4. Getting back into that slipstream. That is how powerful the slipstream is for IndyCars right there. And he just smokes right on by going into 1.
That's kind of the thing we've seen very often here at Kansas Speedway. It's either a very close pack race, it's a race where the guys can seesaw back and forth with each other, or it is both. And this seems to be a bit of both here tonight. Probably the best of both worlds in many regards. Brophy now once again on the low side taking over that race lead. You're not holding the IRL line, it would seem.
No, not right now.
Yeah, you're not holding on to that, holding the low line for dear life. And that's leading to really good racing all throughout the field. As Brophy once again down to the low side in 3 is back and forth. Seems to be very controlled at the moment. Alex Van de Sande working that low line there, trying to close up on the back of Blocker once more. And Sean Dunham coming with him. Look at the run he gets going into 1 and 2. Blocker clears Brophy easily right now, but Van de Sande starting to creep more and more into the frame right now. And of course, Van de Sande, a power slide teammate with Adam Blocker. Jason Brophy with private label Team Hype is kind of the odd man out in this one, but these two have been working well with each other. But I think Blocker would want to be working more with Van de Sande than he would with Brophy right now.
Yeah, these are bitter team rivals in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. I mean, when a team championship comes up every year, it's either Team Private Label or Power Slide. One of those two teams has that team championship every year. These are bitter rivals in the Lionheart IndyCar Series.
I guess I could easily say that Power Slide and Private Label Team Hype, they're our equivalent of Penske versus Ganassi. The big guys you expect up front, and they have bitter rivalries with each other. They're always the headliners, and they fight hard with each other every single race.
Let's go back even further. Penske versus Patrick Racing back in the 80s. That was some vicious fighting then.
I want to hear where's Logan Sargent at the moment, my friends, because I believe that man's in Formula One for the first American driver at the moment. Here, we've got a couple of American drivers battling it out there, changing positions, and look at that. I think Alex is just sitting back in the moment, just slicing up a possibility of making that 3-wide run that we've seen earlier. Yeah,
and indeed talking about Logan Sargent making his Formula One debut next season with Williams. It's going to be an exciting time. First time an American drivers compete in F1 since 2015 with none other than 2016 Indy 500 winner Alexander Rossi.
I remember when Rossi first got to IndyCar, he was not happy to be there until he won, right up to the point he won the Indy 500. And he's like, oh, that's not too bad. Sean Dunham had an incident coming off of turn 2. He might have got up into the wall. He is off the pace a little bit down low, going to turn 3 and 4. He might have smacked the wall.
He
did, in fact.
No, actually, correction, the wall hit him. That's what the
wall jumped out at me, I swear.
He's got damage big time, and he's had to lift off big time. He's down to P8 currently at the moment, guys.
Yeah, Dunham just tapped the wall a little bit off at 2, lost a ton of momentum there, had to gather it up on the apron. Did so very nicely, but now he's had to clear Brendan Lichtenberg back up to Hamilton Akabuze, I should say. Currently running P7 at the moment, closing up and trying to close up again on Lichtenberg. But a rough moment there for Sean Dunham. Could have been much worse. Very nice save on his part.
Yeah, now let me go back to Rossi. There's no doubt in my mind, listening to him talking going into that Indy 500, he's like, yeah, this was just a job for him. He was going to turn laps, and it was a path to something bigger and better that probably was not going to develop for him. And then he won that 500. You could almost hear him when he won the 500 that he didn't realize what he just stepped himself into when he won that 500. Yeah. And now all of a sudden he's like, wow, IndyCar racing is the greatest thing in the world. Well, because you're a 500 champion, buddy, and that's why IndyCar racing is the greatest thing in the world.
It's amazing what that can do to you, especially a win at the Indy 500.
That and $1 million can really change someone's opinion, yes.
Ain't that the truth?
So Fernando Alonso has been chasing, obviously, for the Triple Crown. You would want to get, isn't it? The Triple Crown's one that everybody wants to get.
The Triple Crown of racing, which is the Indy 500, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and we would call it winning at Monaco.
Yeah, the Monaco Grand Prix, and only one driver has ever done it, and that's Graham Hill.
Yeah.
Hey, Kat, walking Wikipedia knowledge right now, Steven.
Yeah. What can I say? Nerds are as nerds do.
Well, there's some that's gotten close. There's some got close. How close did Montoya get? Did Montoya win at Monaco?
He won in Monaco. He hasn't won at Le Mans.
Okay, so he has 2/3. AJ Foyt has 2/3.
Yeah, he didn't win Monaco. He never competed in Formula One, if I'm not mistaken, aside from those times when the Indy 500 was a part of the F1 World Championship, but hard to really call it that, even though it did count for World Championship points.
And
somebody's shouting out at the moment, currently, Rafael Eckert, the NP4. We'd like to a little spectator view out there for the chat. Thank you very much, Ricardo. Maybe we'll organise that from our sporting directors, of course, in the US.
Mario, I think, got 2/3 of that as well.
Yep, you got Indy and Monaco. And I'm looking right now, and you were talking about Rafael Eckert right now, trying to close up on Van de Sande. He closed up really close right now, but I think the arrow push from the guys in front is hurting him for the time being. But again, the seesawing back and forth for the lead between Jason Brophy and Adam Blocker still not abated as of yet, working lap number 58 of 75. Pretty soon, we're going to come to the point where the formalities are going to be over, and they are going to be wanting to tell everyone, get behind me, fool. Brophy once again down to the low side in turn 3.
Get behind me, fool.
Yeah. Rafael's going to make a run, but I guarantee you right now, according to Ricardo out there, here we go.
Eckert looking to the low side into 1 and 2. Running that medium line there is Van de Sande way up high, running the Kyle Larson line through 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's going to have huge momentum.
Getting the run down the back straightaway. Can Eckert stick it on the low side? Van de Sande holding it pretty even with him right now, but Eckert does have a nose. Rafael Eckert. A great start. Started 10th place. He's up to 3rd for the time being. Alex Van de Sande, though, will not take that lightly. Ooh, came very close to the wall there.
You saw either it was debris or he was making contact along that wall. And I think it's contact because he lost momentum, and that has allowed Eckert along by. But, man, you could not slip a piece of paper in between that rear tire and that wall going into turns 1 and 2 between Alex Van de Sande's car and that wall.
Yeah, you had to be very careful. It was like, it's either he did touch the wall or he knew he was going to touch it, so he had to back out of it. But Alex Van de Sant drifting behind Rafael Eckert. Eckert up to P3. Fantastic run right now for the 17 machine tonight. Now can he close up and make this battle between Blocker and Brophy into a three-way fight coming to the closing stages?
Give me a real quick rundown of, sorry, let me cut you off. Give me a real quick rundown of the field here. Give some people a shout-outs that have not had one yet. Blocker is your leader. He's been swapping all segment long with Brophy. Here comes Rafael Eckert. He is now up to P3 and charging on the leaders. Here comes Alex Van de Sant recovering from that slight contact with the wall to try to take the battle back to Eckert for the battle for third. Up high, Maleshka in fifth. He has recovered to pretty well back up to fifth. Lichtenberg 6th, Akabwezi 7th, Strickland 8th, Dunham 9th, Evans 10th, Fraporti 11th. Zach Spritzer, have not talked much about him, 12th, Trace Shadid 13th, William Price 14th, Stephen Lee 15th, Hubler 16th, Mark Murphy's with that contact of the wall down 4 laps. He is in 17th, and Alan Morera, he must have had an incident early on as well. He is down 12 laps and currently on pit road with an extended stop in 18th. Wilhite and Franzoni currently shown out. That is your 20-car field, and we're coming to 10 to go very shortly.
Very close to the wall for Rafael Eckert as Alex Van de Sant has cleared him once again, gotten himself back up to third place. Now can he close up? Can he close the deal and get these two in front of him? Maybe help his teammate out a little bit. Of Adam Blocker, Brophy. These guys still playing nice with each other. We're going to come to 10 laps to go, and I think pretty soon these guys are going to start fighting much harder than they have so far.
Yeah, it's
going to be a great finish.
Fuel vapor as well, too, because remember, they boxed back on lap 24. We expected one pit stop around here, but did we expect it that early? Got 10 to go. Now, tires are being worn, fuel's being worn, everything's going to be worn. It's going to go in there, man versus machine.
Tires are going to be very well worn. They're going to be light tanks at the end of this run.
No doubt about that, and they're going to be pretty light. I think they'll definitely have enough to make it. They've been putting it in fuel map 8 under caution. That is just complete fuel save mode, but that should be more than enough to get them to the end of this race on fuel. Tires are going to be the main concern.
Here comes Eckert. He's got to run on inside of Alex VDS. Inside into 3. He's going to have the position if he can keep it down low.
Van de Sant got the wall there in 3 and 4. I could tell Eckert clears him off of turn number 4. Can Van de Sant get by him? Is he wounded at all? Is Brophy now playing a bit more defensive up in the lead pack? But Van de Sant trying to get around him on the high line once more. He loves that high line here right now. Now he's going to look to the low side there as Eckert drifts up. Eckert holding that high line there. Alex Van de Sant.
Alex, he can't keep it down there. Alex had to drop it down the 4th gear just to keep the car from floating too high and be able to rotate it through there. So that's going to, it was not enough RPMs to hang on to Eckert getting that run off the high side. But now these two playing around back here for third is allowing Brophy and Blocker to separate here and getting key. Oh, Alex in the wall in 3 and 4.
Oh, Van de Sant again touching the wall there. You don't want to do that very much. Van de Sant fighting a damaged car probably there, and he doesn't want to be in the slipstream of Rafael Eckert.
Evan Adams
doing a great job.
Evan Adams showing coming off pit road, so Evan Adams had an issue which caused him to pit, giving up a top 10 spot.
Brophy once again retaking the lead. We're coming to 5 laps to go at Kansas Speedway. Jason Brophy holding on to the lead. Adam Blocker looking to the low side once again into 1 and 2. At some point, the gloves are going to come off between these guys. They're going to be playing defense, playing offense hard. We may well get there at this point. I think I heard another little bit of contact with the wall as once again, Brophy gets down on the low side again. 4 more. The seesawing back and forth here, I'd imagine with a few, and towards the end, probably on the last lap especially, they are going to play and they're going to play tough. They're definitely going to play tough at the end.
They're going to play chicken at the corners at the moment. Adam's going to use the Adam approach that he's done. But the other, Jason and Adam, and Jason is obviously
Jason getting loose off a 4!
It's going to work right now as Jason gets a little bit of a power slide out of there, and that it could very much be handing this one over to Adam Blocker with 3 races, 3 laps to go, of course.
Here comes Eckert. Eckert now has a shot at the second step. Not sure what happened. Just a little too much stiff rear bar or too much weight jacker.
Maybe so.
He was getting loose. If you looked on the previous lap or the lap leading up to that, he was loose on the bottom through 1 and 2. And I didn't say anything, but I saw the car was happy. And, well, it definitely got happy. That right rear, he must be leaning really hard on that right rear tire. It must be very hot right now.
I would imagine so. Brophy's been fighting and been pushing these tires for all they're worth, and it may have come back to bite him. It's given Blocker a big reprieve. Coming to the white flag. He's closed up a little bit, it would seem. Blocker way down on the apron there. White flag in the air. Brophy closing back up there. Can he get the run? He's definitely closed up. He's going to get a really good run off of turn number 2. Is this going to be the run he needs? Blocker down on the low side. Brophy going up high. Can he get the run off of turn number 3 and 4? Foot to the floor for here. Adam Blocker. Down to the low side he goes. Brophy getting the run on the high side. It's going to be Blocker. Adam Blocker wins at Kansas. Brophy second. Eckert in third. Margin at the line, 32 1,000ths of a second.
Oh, IndyCar racing at Kansas. It never changes. It's always great. Nobody likes it, but everyone loves to watch it.
37 thousandths of a second of that's about a piece of paper that you'd be sending to Santa Claus right now to get that pony, wouldn't you? And I tell you what,
yeah.
It definitely is.
He had just enough. He had just enough of that pony to get him across the start-finish line there. Let's see if we can. There. That's basically the best what we're going to get for the margin of victory. It's about a quarter of a car, maybe half of a car. So if you're just in case you're wondering, the apron is in bounds. That is legal. Congratulations, Adam Blocker. Congratulations. That is a great win to open up the Indy fixed season. He might be trying to do now the dual championship. We'll see.
That would be fantastic if we saw him give a crack at it. Adam Blocker will definitely be a contender for sure if that's the case. And he opened up the season in style. Adam Blocker, Jason Brophy, Rafael Eckert, your podium. Robert Malechka, I'll point out, he actually got up around Van der Zandt fourth.
He did. And all that action in the last lap kind of shadowed all that stuff going on in the back. But RM3, a great run for him. So let's take a look at tonight's final standings here from Kansas Motor Speedway. Adam Blocker, your winner. Jason Brophy, your P2 there. And Rafael Eckert gets onto the bottom step of the podium here. Congratulations to those three. Robert Malechka, Alex Van der Zandt, Team Power Slide really dominating the top 5 there. 4th and 5th as well as getting the win. 4th and 5th, Malechka and Van der Zandt there. Your remainder of your top 10, Akabwezi very quietly gets up to 6. Lichtenberg, a very consistent run for him, very quietly up to 7. Christopher Strickland, a very quiet run up to 8. Sean Dunham up in that top 10 all day. And for Porty, gets himself up to 10th. Your top 15, Price, Hubler, Shadid, Spitzer, Lee. Remember, Hubler started shotgun in the field, so he gets himself a pretty good finish, up 8 spots to 12th. Going on to the next page, Evan Adams' incident late causes him to fall to 16th. Mark Murphy, contact with the turn 4 wall while battling Adam Blocker. 17th, Barrera. 18th, Will Height caught up in that wreck with Franzoni, relegating him to 19th and Franzoni 20th.
Absolutely. Thumbs up if you enjoyed that one out there. Massive thank you out there, the Virtual Racing Network there, for throwing a couple of bucks there towards the 4D Racewear Monday night Indy fixed Kansas Speedway. Done and dusted, my friends. Couple of caution cars, but plenty of action racing.
And then let's take a look and see what we got in the...
I'm seeing both Blocker and Brophy in there wanting to give a little chat.
Okay. And let's bring up the Brof dog here first, as gets a second step here of the podium. Hey, Jason, got you here in the booth. Congratulations here on that podium. Almost looked like it was getting ready to slip away. Had a bit of a power slide moment, and we're not talking about team power slide. We're talking about you actually power sliding your way through turns 3 and 4. What happened there? Just that right rear getting a little too hot, or just momentarily got loose there towards late in the run?
Yeah, I'd been pretty aggressive with the tools while we were swapping and stuff, and so I knew my right rear had built pretty hot, and then I dipped the left front onto the seam, and it just grabbed instantly. So it started to come around, and it's one of those that I was not ready. But thankfully, it kind of self-corrected. I kind of kept the wheel straight, took my foot off the gas, and let it gather itself up. Didn't pound the wall with the knot turning and everything. So, and then I'm glad I was able to mount a charge and try and get back to Adam, but. Not quite enough there at the end. I did have to commit a couple of times. You go off 10 higher in the weight jacker than I was in the time I power slid, because I knew he was going to mirror drive me and just hope that it worked. And it did. I got there, but I couldn't quite get there in full. So, it was really fun racing, though. I really enjoyed this one. Brought me back to the days before the aero screen, when you could drive it off the right rear. You could hang it out a bit and send it. So I had a blast. It's a lot of fun. Yeah,
I was getting ready to ask, what do you think of this? Was a super split. I mean, the normal top split, which we would broadcast at 7:15. I mean, that was 4K by itself. This is 4.5K with the addition of you guys. What do you think of the added little extra bonus of the of being in the super split? I mean, it certainly helps set you up for maybe, depending on how you want to do on the open side of things, go for a double championship.
No, I'm not going to run that much open this season. With the way the splits work, it's pretty rough with the for the West Coast trying to make that first one, and then Saturday's not a lot less likely. So
yeah.
But the I can make the 6:15s, and so it makes being on the West Coast. It's a lot easier for me to make the Monday 6:15s and make those. I think toward the tail end of the season, I might have some conflicts where I can't do Monday nights. So not sure about that yet, but we'll see. But I came up through the fixed series, and so it's a little bit of fun. Get back to racing that. I'm adjusting to triples, and kind of brought back some of the fun. After a while, just being able to see everything. I mean, I had VR, and there's nothing wrong with VR, and I like it on road, I think, but the triples are helping me see a little better. Just with the way this racing is, I kind of need the extra peripheral. So
hopefully we see more of the green car this season. Go ahead, Steven.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about how the thing was driving tonight. It looked to me like it was close pack racing to start with, but the tire wear seemed to be the big thing dictating what sort of racing we were getting here. And obviously you were saying that you were being rather aggressive on your tools tonight. And would you say that the tire wear in general was what led to some of the dramas tonight, some of the incidents? And do you think and the setup overall, what did you think of it?
I think it was fun. As I said, I think you could hang it out. I think Adam and I wore the tires differently. I think he'd burn up his right front a bit more, and I'd burn up my right rear. At the end of that race, I was 63.57 at the end of that run. So I had burnt off the right rear quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that's, a lot of that's clean air. People back in traffic are probably going to be burning off the right front. But even Adam, I think, was a little bit tighter than I was. And I had a couple of moments where it jumped, especially if I got the left front on the seam or below the seam. It works early in the run, late in the run. It was a bit of a nightmare at times. So I think it was a lot of fun. I think honestly you could race there. Like I think back and forth between the leaders would have been a lot of fun. If I didn't slip there, I think the racing would have been interesting to see. I think you could have set up runs and maybe duck to the inside, do some stuff, and swap it back and forth like that. I know we swapped for a long time, but kind of with 5 to go, we made the decision, hey, it's time to race.
So yeah.
Well,
congratulations on the P2. Anybody you want to shout out to? Sponsors, friends, families? You earned it. You got the microphone. Go right ahead.
Yeah, sure. I give a shout out to my team, Private Label Team Hype. We had a good season in the Lionheart Series this year, so shifting now. That ended yesterday and right into fixed racing. So, and Ethica, other partner, and Adam and all those that we raced really well. All those guys at the front of the field. It was great racing. I enjoyed it. So.
Well, congratulations, and hopefully we see you next week when we move on to Believe it or not, we're back to Indy again. It seems like we were just there for one reason or another. So we are back to Indy. So we will hopefully see you again next week as we hit the oval just in time for Christmas.
Thank you.
All right, and now let's bring up Adam Blocker. Hey, Adam, thanks for waiting. Congratulations. Man, it's good to have you in the lineup. And you started off this season in a prime spot, getting the win here in a super split race, 4.5K. So there's going to be a lot of points behind this one.
Yeah, it was definitely an eventful race. You can definitely say that. Yeah, the setup was pretty fun, actually. It was really easy to be too tight on the settings and really just burn off your right front, and also really easy to do the exact opposite, which is I think is what Jason did there in the last stint. He got so loose in 3 and 4, it kind of gave me a good shot to win the race at the end. But yeah.
Steven?
Yeah, and that was the main thing we were seeing all night between you guys. And looking at that whole the final laps as well, of course, Brophy had that moment there. He was legit sliding through 3 and 4. And I'm guessing you thought that you had a reprieve there, but I'm guessing you still weren't sitting easy. You were thinking that he was going to get a big run there. But of course, but wasn't to be in the end there. But what were your thoughts on that final battle?
Well, first I thought he hit the wall there. I thought there was no way he didn't hit the wall with how sideways he was. But, yeah, we were working together, swapping just to try to make sure that we kept the top 2 for a while. And so we did that. And then about 5 to go, we decided to race. And I got past him. He hit that loose moment, like we said. And I knew that would give me a cushion for a couple laps, but I knew he might have a chance on the last lap. And that's basically what happened. But yeah, I thought as long as I defended inside into 3 and was able to open up the corner, I'd be good. But yeah, we were at the point in the run where the tires were kind of worn, so it was going to be really hard for him to catch back up quickly.
Hey, Dean, I don't know if you have a prepared question or not, but this is, if you want to learn anything oval racing, you're talking to one of the professors of it. Got any questions for Adam here as you watch tonight's lineup or watch tonight's broadcast and learning a little bit more about IndyCar oval racing?
I do, Gary. First of all, Adam, can I have your autograph? And second of all, congratulations on your race win. That 6.2K I rating obviously is a resume that you've set the statement. But overall, mate, judging by this as a relatively newbie coming from a Formula 1 background, it seemed that you covered off a lot of that. The racing like you took there, you'd give up the position, give the position back, get the position back, and so forth and so forth. And then as soon as it was like green light flag between your teammates, you said, go, go, go. Is there any threat that you had towards the end there, or you just continue to do what you continue to do best and race wins?
I mean, I think it was 50-50. I mean, because I think if Jason didn't have that moment, I was struggling a bit with the right front. So if I had gotten stuck behind him for a couple laps, I might have just gotten stuck there because, yeah, I mean, I think I was having more trouble swapping to pass him than he was swapping to pass me. And part of that might have been that he was running the right rear really hot and it finally gave it out. So I don't know. But yeah, honestly, not really great at these 1.5 mile like these. So just happy to get a win out of it.
Is it just the champagne you're using to spray the tires down to cool? How do you cool your tires down better than everybody else? Because you're lapped on lap 24, that second pace car, and then that's it. You went to the end on that one. How do you cool your tires better than the other drivers? Want to share that secret with anybody?
Well, the main thing was, like, if you're in traffic, it's no secret. If you're in traffic, like, your tires are just going to get, you basically have less downforce when you're behind other cars, so you're naturally going to scrub more in the corners. And so that's why, like, Jason and I swapping continually, number one, locked out the top 2 positions for us. And then second, it allowed us to both save our tires because we were both running in clean air. And then, yeah, at the end, it was trying to, like, just constantly play with the ARBs and weight jacker to burn off the right front and right rear evenly. And I don't know if I was doing a great job at it, but it ended up being good enough.
Good enough to win, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You got the bubbly stuff on the top of that podium. Thank you much, Adam. I'll get your autograph, my friend. I'll be selling that one on eBay later on. You got GG's, mate. Kansas is yours. I keep saying Texas. Kansas, my friend.
Yeah, just want to thank you guys for calling the race. And
no problem.
I just want to thank everybody for showing up. And yeah, thank Rob, Alex, and Jason for working with me during the race. And yeah, see you guys next time.
Yeah, and thanks for encouraging here on the super split. Everything kind of worked out where everyone really came to play today. So that was kind of your idea, and I'm kind of glad we went for that one. And so thanks a lot. And then next week we'll move it to 9:15 again, and hopefully we'll see more of the same. But thank you very much, Adam. Congratulations. Enjoy the win, and we'll see you in a week.
Yep. See you guys.
See ya. All right. Well, Dean. I mean, short of IndyCars going to Michigan, maybe Chicagoland, Las Vegas. I mean, you probably saw a really good race here. It was packy early, and as we anticipated with these tires and it being a day race, racy late. What'd you think of kind of watching this oval race unfold here on Race first time in the booth with us?
It's fantastic, my friend. A couple of just caution cars, which are a short speedway. That's actually very, very impressive. Good. Hats off to all the drivers doing that one. Pleasure sharing the commentary box with you, Mr. Gary and Stephen, legends in the casting booth industry, of course. And hats off to you guys. Christmas cards coming your way, guys. There's something else I actually wanted to say that kind of remember that right now because the action has been there all the way. But yes, it's been an absolute pleasure. I can't wait naturally to see. Actually, that was the question I had to go for you, Gary, that was on my mind at the moment.
Yeah.
Was you're talking about driving barefoot and with socks or even with 4D racewear. What do you wear when you race?
I wear 4D racewear shoes.
And Steven, there you go.
I wear socks.
All right. There you go. So that's all the questions I had. Thank you very much, guys. It's been really fun.
Well, Steven, we kicked off a bit of a different season here, the season of the super splits, where we've had the Indy Open guys after racing the early race. They're going to be joining us for this one, and we have opened up the opportunity for the guys from the West Coast to actually join us as well. So a bit of a new era of the top split race. What'd you think of the night?
Honestly, if this is any indication, I'm excited for what's to come. Tonight showed some of the best in the business right now, and they were just putting on a show. They got down to business. They had a fantastic race, and they really showed their style. And I think that if this race at Kansas is any indicator, Indianapolis next week is going to be something special, and the same can be said going forward throughout this whole season. I think this can be one for the ages.
All right. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from Kansas. Adam Blocker with the win. Jason Brophy with the second step on the podium. And Raphael Eckert with a fantastic race. Unfortunately, didn't join us for an interview. But, he deserves some praise, too, for working up 7 spots to get to the third step there of the podium, beating out some real heavy hitters like Robert Molechka and Alex Van de Sande. So congrats to him. Join Steven, Justin, and myself again next week for round 2 of the Monday Night IndyFix Top Split of season 1 of 23, as I will be home for Christmas because the series returns to the world's most famous race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Coverage this season begins, remember, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Remember, it's a new time this season, and you can find everything right here on YouTube at youtube.com/racefirst. Hey, we love bringing these races to you. They're not easy and require time and money to produce. Because of your generosity and donations, we've been able to bring you a year of IndyFix, more than a year now of IndyFix action, nearly commercial free. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and have enjoyed our coverage of the Monday Night IndyFix Top Split, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our season 1 of 23 broadcast fund. That's going to cover both fixed and our open coverage. We realize times are tough. People want ponies out there. I understand that. So any contribution would be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and making us a part of your Monday evenings each and every week. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support Race First with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of tonight's race. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. Thumbs up are always appreciated. If you are new, click subscribe, and while you got to hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out more on RaceWear's other iRacing programming, including the Indy Open Strength of Field opener at Road America, with coverage sponsored by Team Watson Racing Setups again. I want to thank them for returning. Coverage starts this Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Also, don't forget, this Wednesday will be round 2 of the winter 2022-2023 season of the Revolution IndyCar League's Schaefer's IndyCar Series as they head to Coda for round 2 of their season. Race first Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split naming rights paid for by 4D RACEWEAR. Check out their line of made for sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel during their holiday sale going on right now through December 31st. Visit them at 4dracewear.com or click on their link in the stream description today. Keep your browser set here for the most in-depth knowledge on IndyCar knowledge and anywhere of iRacing. Race First, we know what Indy means. For business inquiries to learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com. Like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, and you can follow all of us via our Twitter handles right here at the bottom of the page. There we go. And Dean, what's your Twitter so everyone can add you if they want?
That's my Twitter. Sorry. Just follow you guys. You guys do all the work behind the scenes. That's all I needed to go. I just appreciate to be a part of the party here in the pit lane here and Kansas Speedway. I can't look. You know, I'm going to be looking forward, of course. Monday night Motor IndyCar Fixed. It's all what it's all about. Thank you very much.
Parties on pit road, as we always say, pit party, right? So for Stephen Larkamp, Dean Hopkins, everyone here at Race First, I'm Gary Gatto saying good night. Thanks for watching the end of all of our men and women serving in the military and as the first responders. Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again next week in Indianapolis for round 2 of season 1 of 2023 championship and the next race of the 4D RACEWEAR Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split. Happy holidays and good night.